Alright guys, so going on radicals, let me simplify the radical first. The way we simplify radicals, to begin with, I'm going to think of any two numbers. They don't have to be the same. Any two numbers that multiply equals 300. So I'm going to come and think, I don't know, like, what 10 and 30? All right. So let's think of 10 and 30. My 10, I can split it as 2 times 5. My 30, I can split it as 5 times 6. And my 6 as 2 and 3. And each number, I split them up. I'm only looking at the numbers I was not able to split. And I'm going to get them in groups of 2. So I have a group of 5, and I have a group of 2. What I'm going to do next, I'm just going to multiply my groups. 5 times 2 gives me 10. And inside the radical, I'm going to have my singles. The numbers I was not able to split up or get into groups. So in this case, it's 3. 3 of them. Oh, okay. 10 radical 3. So matter of fact, as a help, outside we get the groups. Inside we get our singles. Kind of like you guys with the movies. When you guys are in groups, whether you guys have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or actual friends, when you guys are going to watch the movies, you guys go out. Theaters or somewhere, right? You guys go out. But then many of you that are singles stay home watching Netflix. So the groups go out, singles stay in. So my jokes are not that fun sometimes, but it's kind of like to help you guys remember things. Remember, groups go out, singles stay in. There's nothing wrong with Netflix. I watch Netflix myself, and I'm married. All right, guys, let's go back to question number 2. That was all we did for number 1. Now for question number 2, remember I'm going to split it into two numbers. Thinking two numbers that multiply equals 392. If we cannot think of them, 392 is an even number, so I know it's 2 times something. For me to find the something, I'm going to go 392 divided by 2. Right, I type it in a calculator. 392 divided by 2 gives me 196. Okay. I can split 196 as well. Give me two numbers that multiply equals 196. 14 and 14, okay? I know we can split the 14s, that's 2 times 7, but my goal is to get groups. As soon as we have a group them up. Like we can split them, but it's going to give me a group of 2 and a group of 7, and when I multiply them, it's going to give me back to 14. So our goal is to get groups, not to break everything up. So my answer for this will be 14 radical 2. So I only have a group of 14, so that's it. If you have more than one group, multiply your groups for the outside. If you have more than one single, multiply them for the inside. So that's all we did on those lessons. So any questions for the first 10? If you have no singles, that's what we call a perfect square. Kind of like in a perfect world, everybody will have a partner, or at least a friend. But we know we're not perfect, so we have radicals in them. So in a perfect world, everybody has a partner. In a perfect squared, everyone has a partner as well. So question number 8, there will be no radicals. This one you're going to have a perfect square. Okay, so now let me move into question number 11. When we have a number outside, let me start with 392. And I'm going to split this up as 2 times 196. And then we said 196 as 14 and 14. So 14 is a group. But whenever we start with the number outside, I'm going to consider that a group as well. Because remember I said in order for them to go out, it has to be a group. So I'm going to consider the 6 a group to begin with. So now, for the outside, I'm going to multiply my groups. 14 times 6. For the inside, let me multiply my singles. There's only one of them. So my answer is 84 radical 2. There will be sometimes 2 singles, like a 2 and a 3. If you have more than one single, multiply them for the inside. Alright, so any questions up until number 20? 12? Alright, looking at number 12, let me start with 98. I'm going to break that as 2 times 49. 49, I'm going to break that as 7 times 7. So that gives me a group of 7. The 9 outside, I'm going to call it a group to begin with. So outside, I'm going to have 63. So I multiply my groups. Inside, I'm going to have a 2. Any other questions up until 20? 16? Give me 2 numbers that multiplied equals 600. What was it? 10 times 60? Okay. What about 60? 10 and 6. Our 6 we can split it as 2 times 3. I know our 10 we can split it as 2 times 5. But remember I said get groups. I already have a group of 10. I also have a group of 7, right? The number outside to begin with. So what number do I have outside of the radical? 70. What number do I have inside? 6. If there's more than one single, multiply your single. So 70 radical 6. All right. Any other questions up until 20? 18. Let's split up 80. Give me 2 numbers that multiply equals 80. 8 times 10. Our 10, I'm pretty sure we're going to split it as 2 times 5. What about our 8? 4 times 2, okay. So far, I see a group of 2's, but we can also split up 4 as another group of 2's, and I have a group of 4 to begin with. So what do we have on the outside? 16. What do we have on the inside? 5, okay. So 16 radical 5. Good? And I multiply 2 times 2 times the 4 on the outside. Okay, so that was not bad. Now 21. How to square a radical? That's technically radical 63 times radical 63. I know when I multiply those, it's going to be a radical of a huge number, right? 63 times 63. Whatever that number is. And I know whenever I get that number, I'm going to split it as 2 numbers. The multiply equals that. And I know I got there by multiplying 63 times 63. Right? That's basically how I got there. So that's my group. So my answer will be 63. To make it more simple, right, this is the long way. Radical 63 times radical 63 is a radical of a huge number. That number can be split into 63 and 63. So I have a group, no singles. So that's why I have the 63 outside. But like I said, to make it simple, when you square a radical, you only get the number on the inside. That's what you get. So question number 22, to make it simple, the square root of 320 squared, I'm just going to get 320. When you square a radical, you get rid of the radical sign. So that's it. So that one's easy. I want to say up until number 26, they're simple. But now, number 27, when I multiply this, 3 radical, and then 3 radical 392, When I multiply my big numbers, 3 times 3, I know I get 9. Radical 392 times radical 392, I'm going to get 392. So just to get this easily, square the number on the outside, right? 3 squared, multiply by the number on the inside. So when you square these, that's all you do. You square on the outside, and then you multiply by the number on the inside. Now, 392 times 9, let's see, 9 times 2 is 18. 81 plus 1, 82. 3,528. Once again, you square the one on the outside, and you multiply to the number on the inside. So if I look at number 28, I'm going to go 9 times 256. The 9, because I squared the 3 outside. 3 squared times 256. And I'll let you guys finish that on your own. Right? Multiply that out. Any questions up until 32? 30? I'm gonna square the one on the outside, so 36 times 108. So whenever we square these, that's what we get. And that's gonna help us on the next worksheet, this idea. Like I said, I'll let you guys multiply that on your own. Anything up until 32? Now 33, rationalize denominator. What rationalizing a denominator means is no radicals at the bottom. You can have a radical on top, but no radicals at the bottom. And make sure your radicals and your fractions are as simple as they can be. So to get rid of the radical at the bottom, let me multiply top and bottom by radical 3. So on the top, I have a negative 2 radical 3. Right, on the top, there's a 2 and the radical 3. I cannot combine them. So I just call it 2 radical 3. Now at the bottom, radical 3 squared is just 3. So that's my answer. Right, simplify your fraction if you can. And make sure the radical that you have left is as simple as it can be. Having that said, let me take a look at number 34. Let me multiply top and bottom by radical 3. I'm trying to get rid of the radical from the bottom. So on the top, I have 3 radical 3. And I'm not forgetting my negative sign in front of it. So on the top, I have 3 radical 3. At the bottom, I'm going to get a 6. Because the 6, because if I multiply my 2 radicals, that's 3. Times the 2 that was in front of it, that's how I got 6. Simplify your fraction as much as you can. 3 over 6. Make sure you simplify that as radical 3 over 2. Right? 3 over 6 is 1/2. Once again, no radicals at the bottom. Make sure your radicals and your fractions are as simple as they can be. Right. Any questions up until 42? 36, okay. Let me multiply top and bottom by radical 6. So on the top, I have 3 radical 18. At the bottom, I have 18. Yes. Yes.
He doesn't know how to teach me this, and he was wondering if you could teach me how to do it.
Okay. Do you mind? Just let me finish this stuff, and as soon as I finish teaching them, I'll go here with Mr. Schulman's class, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll just go and show you guys how to do it. Okay. So at the bottom, we're going to have 18, right? Because radical 6 times radical 6 is 6, times 3 is 18. Before I simplify my fraction, let me simplify my radical. radical 18 is 3 radical 2. Remember how at the very beginning we simplified it? I can break that as 9 and 2, 3 and 3. So 3 goes out, radical 2 stays in. So for right now, I have 9 radical 2 over 18. We're good on that? Yes? Now let me simplify my fraction. I'm going to call this radical 2 over 2. Because 9 over 18 is 1/2. Notice how I simplify my radical first, and then simplify my fraction. Remember, for rationalizing, no radicals at the bottom. Your radicals should be simple. If you have a radical left, it should be simple, and your fraction should be simple as well. All right. What is it? Well, 9 over 18 is 1 over 2. Yeah? Like 2 over 1 if it was 18 over 9. All right, any questions?